When you look purely at the carriers, they have built up a significant war chest since 2020 of cash, piles of cash. Of course, the question is how long that cash pile will last. My boss used to say that the pandemic gave the industry a lot of cash, but not necessarily better ideas. And where I think the matters is today is that probably the CEO of each of these companies wants to do a lot of M&A, but the CFO is saying, let's preserve cash because we're going to need it in the downturn. Now, shipping is and always will remain a skill business. And there you see now that the gap between the top 4 carriers globally and the rest of the field is increasing to an uncomfortable size. So in my personal opinion, the shipping industry should anticipate a wave of consolidation where the smaller carriers, and we don't need to go into individual names, but the smaller carriers will look at how they can close the gap with the big ones and then push historical differences aside and look at M&A partners. Obviously, the obvious partners have already been done. I mean, the obvious mergers have been done, and the remaining ones are less obvious than the previous ones. But they will need to make it work, and they will need to do it while they still have a pile of cash to be able to finance and cover the costs. You see already that many of the largest carriers have announced significant cost-cutting measures, reorganizations, simplifications, simply because everybody is bracing themselves for that downturn. And I think that the best time to do M&A is not when the cycle hits the bottom, which undoubtedly it will in the next 5 years, but before the cycle hits the bottom. The second one is the choke points that we talked about. A lot of M&A focuses on trying to address the choke points in the industry, particularly ports and logistics on the land side, particularly carriers that have a portfolio company that looks at ports and terminals. It's public information that the return on invested capital that was just published from APM Terminals is around 17%. So that's a work of 17%. There's not many businesses in the industry that can say that they have that kind of return on capital invested. So many of the shipping companies thinking of choke points are also looking at investing in landside infrastructure, be that logistics and be that ports. So I expect significant M&A and investment in that area as well.